I've mentioned before a particular scene in a film that stayed with me. Certain ideas can be captured cinematographically in a script, well acted, that present a very complete impression of something that I can only imagine that the author or whoever was responsible for the creation of that split second of an ineffable impression had to have some feeling, him or herself, when they wrote it or proposed it. And this one thing I'm speaking of, while I'm talking, my mind is thinking, that wouldn't be a bad book if you took in all those particular moments and just expanded on them, taking a clip from a film and then writing about its interior meaning. Anyway, the film was Red Corner. Richard Gere and some, I don't know what her name was, a Chinese actress. And it was near the end of the film. He'd gone through quite a bit of hell, and she was the defending attorney because he was on trial for something there, and they had become close because of she beginning to understand his honesty and seeing the tribulations that he went through. At the end, they were walking somewhere together, and they walked by a stand, a giant stand of bamboo, which I've always loved bamboo. It's part of whatever is east in me loves bamboo. And it was just gently moving. And she said, "Do you know what the bamboo is doing?" And he said, "No," not having the sophistication of her interior life. And he said, "It's always waiting for a breeze." Now I can see by the look on your face when I reach the climax of what I wanted to say that it doesn't strike you, but that's okay. The day will come when you'll understand that you are waiting for a breeze yourself. You're waiting for a message. You're waiting for the touch of something. You're waiting for a new understanding to come into your heart. But you have to be in the right place to wait. When you're thinking about your life, you're waiting for something to change. When you're thinking about others, you're waiting for them to change. You don't know yet how to wait. Because you see, you have to wait still. If you're not still, you're not waiting. It's impossible. Because only what is still is touched and moved. What's moving has no idea that it's being touched by something because it's already enveloped in its own actions. The difficulty is, of course, that the only way a person becomes like bamboo is when at last they have expired, at least to some extent, all of the self-generated movement of thought and emotion. As it seeks itself, confirms itself, and then runs to itself, and in all of that movement going nowhere but never knowing it, whereas the bamboo that waits, the soul that sits quietly, understanding that it's intended to be a message catcher. Not a message in words, a message in impression, a message in feeling. That's your real responsibility in the end, not just your purpose. but a kind of consolation for having run to the end of yourself and then come to the point where you're willing to wait for a message, to wait for an impression, instead of feeding yourself like you do all the time.